Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Lotus Light Teachings, a place where we explore the wisdom of Buddhism, uncover practical insights from modern life, and embark on a journey toward mental clarity and inner peace. Today, we are diving deep into a powerful question. How can we stop our thoughts from controlling us? If you've ever found yourself lost in overthinking, trapped in past regrets, or overwhelmed by future anxieties, you're not alone. But what if I told you that your thoughts don't have to define you? What if you could take back control and find peace amidst the mental noise? In this video, we'll explore 22 transformative Buddhist practices that can help you break free from mental chatter. But this isn't just theory. We'll share real-life examples, personal stories, and actionable techniques so you can integrate these timeless teachings into your daily life. So, take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin this journey together. Because peace isn't something we find, it's something we create within ourselves. Have you ever felt like your thoughts have a life of their own? Like they're constantly running in circles, replaying past mistakes, worrying about the future, or criticizing your every move? It's almost as if there's a voice in your head that never stops talking. And sometimes that voice isn't very kind. But here's a thought. What if you are not your thoughts? What if you are the observer of your mind, not the victim of it? Imagine waking up every morning without the weight of overthinking. No racing thoughts, no endless self-doubt, no emotional exhaustion from a mind that won't stay quiet. Imagine if you could command your mind instead of being controlled by it. This is not just an idea. It's a practice, a skill, a path that has been walked for thousands of years by Buddhist monks, spiritual seekers, and those simply searching for peace. And the good news? You can walk this path too. Today, we're going to explore 22 Buddhist practices that will help you transform your relationship with your thoughts. But this is more than just a list of techniques. It's about cultivating a new way of seeing, a new way of being. By the end of this video, you'll have powerful tools to heavy checkmark, observe thoughts without attachment. Heavy checkmark, find stillness in a chaotic world. Heavy checkmark, let go of mental suffering and reclaim your inner peace. And before we begin, I want you to ask yourself, what if my thoughts don't have power over me unless I give it to them? Let's begin. Your mind is like a wild horse, untamed, restless, and always moving. It jumps from thought to thought, dragging you through a maze of regrets, worries, and anxieties. The question is, are you riding the horse, or is it riding you? Most people let their thoughts control them. They wake up already anxious, already consumed by yesterday's failures and tomorrow's uncertainties. They live on autopilot, reacting to every stimulus without real awareness. But what if you could change that? What if, instead of being a prisoner of your mind, you could become its master? This is where mindfulness meditation comes in. It's not just about sitting in silence. It's about taking back control of your mind. It's about observing your thoughts like clouds in the sky, watching them pass without attachment. Sounds simple, right? But if it's so easy, why do so many people struggle with it? Because your mind doesn't want to be tamed. It wants to run wild. And that's exactly why you must train it. The science of mindfulness. Rewiring your brain for clarity. Neuroscience has proven what Buddhist monks have known for centuries. Mindfulness meditation rewires the brain. Dr. Richard Davidson, a neuroscientist at the University of Wisconsin, conducted research on Tibetan monks and found that long-term mindfulness meditation strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Meanwhile, the amygdala, the brain's fear center, responsible for stress and anxiety, shrinks with consistent mindfulness practice. In simple terms, meditation makes you mentally stronger, calmer, and more in control. Now, think about the implications of this in your life. Imagine being in a high-pressure situation, whether it's negotiating a business deal, competing in a sports championship, or giving a life-changing speech. Would you rather have a mind that's calm and focused or one that's scattered and panicked? Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, practiced mindfulness meditation daily. He credited it with his ability to stay calm under pressure, saying, "I meditate every day. It's important because it sets me up for the rest of the day." It's like having an anchor. If a high-performance athlete at the top of his game swore by mindfulness, why aren't you doing the same? The power of observation, becoming the watcher, not the puppet. Most people react to their thoughts. They get angry when a bad memory resurfaces. They get anxious when a fearful thought appears. But mindfulness teaches you to observe without reacting. Imagine this. You are sitting by a river, watching the water flow. Leaves are drifting on the surface, some beautiful, some ugly. But you don't jump in to grab them. You just watch. Your thoughts are like those leaves. Some are positive, some are negative, but they all pass. You don't have to hold on to them. You don't have to let them control you. Dalai Lama once said, "You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." Mindfulness is about learning to surf your thoughts. You don't fight them. You ride the waves without being drowned by them. The next time an intrusive thought appears, pause. Observe it, label it, and then let it go. The business leader who stopped overthinking and started winning. Let's take a real-world example. Meet Andrew, a high-level executive at a Fortune 500 company. His life is a whirlwind of decisions, meetings, and relentless deadlines. Every night, he replays his day, obsessing over what he could have done differently, stressing about what's next. His mind is a battlefield and he's losing. Then he discovers mindfulness meditation. At first, it feels impossible. His mind won't shut up, but he sticks with it. After a few weeks, something shifts. He starts noticing his thoughts instead of reacting to them. Stress still comes, but it doesn't control him anymore. Instead of being consumed by overthinking, he sees things with clarity. Decisions become easier. His confidence skyrockets. His leadership improves. The only thing that changed? His relationship with his thoughts. This is the power of mindfulness. The daily mindfulness routine that will change your life. Want to experience the same transformation? Start with this simple routine. 1. The 5-minute breath awareness exercise. Find a quiet place. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Inhale. Exhale. When a thought arises, acknowledge it, but don't engage with it. Just bring your focus back to the breath. Start with 5 minutes a day, then increase gradually. 2. The 1-minute mindful check-in. At any point during your day, pause for 1 minute. Observe your thoughts and emotions without judging them. Take 3 deep breaths before returning to your task. 3. The mindful walking practice. When walking, focus on each step. Feel your foot touch the ground. Listen to the sounds around you. This simple practice grounds you in the present moment. Why you need to start now? Let's be real. You've probably heard about mindfulness before. Maybe you even tried it once or twice. But have you truly committed to it? If you keep letting your thoughts control you, where will you be in 5 years? Still stressed, still anxious, still reactive? Or will you be the master of your mind, unshakable and focused, making decisions with clarity and confidence? The choice is yours. But know this, your mind won't change unless you train it. So start today, even if it's just 5 minutes. Because peace isn't something you find, it's something you create. Now ask yourself, are you finally ready to take control of your mind? Are you walking towards your life or just drifting through it? Think about the last time you walked somewhere, maybe to work, to the store, or just around your neighborhood. Did you really experience that walk? Or were you lost in thought, consumed by stress, replaying past conversations, worrying about the future? Most people are physically present but mentally absent. They move through life like sleepwalkers, reacting, rushing, mind racing. But here's the truth. Your life is happening now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but in this very step you're taking. And that is the essence of walking meditation. A practice that fuses movement with mindfulness, turning every step into a gateway to clarity, calm, and deep presence. The warrior's march. Why movement matters in meditation. There's a reason why great warriors, thinkers, and leaders throughout history have used walking as a means of deep contemplation and clarity. Steve Jobs was famous for his walking meetings, where he would discuss groundbreaking ideas while pacing through nature. Leonardo da Vinci took long walks to spark creativity and problem-solving. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai, practiced walking meditation as a way to sharpen his focus before battle. Walking is more than just movement, it's a path to mastery. In Buddhism, walking meditation is an ancient practice known as kinhin, deeply rooted in Zen philosophy. Unlike traditional seated meditation, where stillness is key, walking meditation uses motion to anchor awareness. It transforms the act of walking into a powerful practice of mental discipline and spiritual clarity. And in today's world, where distractions are constant and people are always rushing, walking meditation offers a radical antidote. Slow down, pay attention, be fully alive in this moment. The Zen Master's lesson. You are already here. A famous Zen story tells of a master who asked his students, "Where are you walking to?" One eager student responded, "I'm going to the temple." The master smiled and said, "No, you are already there." This simple yet profound lesson reveals a deep truth. Life is not about reaching a destination. It's about experiencing the journey. How often do we chase after goals, thinking happiness is always out there? I'll be happy when I get that job. I'll feel fulfilled when I buy that house. I'll finally relax when I retire. But what if you are already at the temple? What if everything you're searching for, peace, clarity, fulfillment, is not in the future, but right here, in the act of walking, breathing, being? The neuroscience of walking meditation, rewiring your brain for clarity. Modern science confirms what Zen monks have known for centuries. Walking meditation transforms the brain. Dr. Amishir Jha, a neuroscientist specializing in mindfulness, found that even short periods of mindful walking significantly reduce stress, improve attention, and enhance cognitive function. Another study from Stanford University discovered that walking boosts creativity by 60% compared to sitting. The simple act of putting one foot in front of the other activates neural pathways responsible for problem-solving, emotional regulation, and innovative thinking. This means that if you're feeling overwhelmed, stuck in overthinking, or struggling with clarity, the solution isn't in your mind, but in your movement. Step forward. Clear your mind. Let walking become your meditation. How walking meditation saved a CEO from burnout. Let me tell you about Mark, a high-powered CEO of a tech startup. Mark was always on edge, checking emails at dinner, losing sleep over investor meetings, constantly running on stress and caffeine. His mind was a battlefield. Then, one day, his mentor introduced him to walking meditation. At first, he dismissed it. "I don't have time for this." But burnout forced him to try. Every morning, he walked in silence for 15 minutes, focusing only on his steps and breath. At first, his thoughts raced, but over time, something shifted. He started noticing small details. The way sunlight filtered through the trees, the rhythm of his footsteps, the feeling of the ground beneath him. His stress levels dropped. His clarity increased. Decisions that once felt overwhelming now felt effortless. Walking meditation didn't just change his mornings. It changed his entire approach to leadership and life. The practice, how to master walking meditation. Ready to turn your daily walks into a transformative experience? Follow this step-by-step guide. 1. Choose your path. Find a quiet space. A park, a quiet street, or even a hallway at home. The path doesn't need to be long, but it should allow you to walk undisturbed. 2. Start with intention. Before you begin, pause. Take a deep breath and set an intention. For the next few minutes, I will walk with full awareness. 3. Walk slowly and deliberately. Move at a natural, slower than normal pace. Feel your foot lift, move through the air, and touch the ground. 4. Sync breath with movement. Inhale as you lift your foot. Exhale as you place it down. Let each step become a rhythm of presence. 5. Engage all senses. Notice the feeling of the air against your skin. Observe the sounds around you. The wind, birds, distant conversations. Stay fully present in every sensation. 6. When thoughts arise, let them pass. The mind will wander. That's okay. Acknowledge each thought, then gently return focus to your steps. 7. End with stillness. After walking, stand still for a few moments. Take a final deep breath. Carry this calm presence into the rest of your day. From overthinking to mastery, the path forward. Most people spend their lives rushing, worrying, and chasing the next thing. But the truth is, clarity isn't found in doing more. It's found in being more present. Walking meditation is not just a practice. It's a way of life. It teaches you that peace is not somewhere else. It's right here in every step you take. So, the next time you walk, walk with awareness. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel the breath in your lungs. Feel the power of this moment, this step, this life. Because you are already at the temple. You always have been. Now, are you ready to walk with purpose? The battlefield of the mind. Are you in control or just drifting? Imagine a warrior on the battlefield. The clash of swords, the chaos of war, the deafening roars of enemies. Yet in the middle of it all, he stands calm, focused, unshaken. Now imagine your own mind, a battlefield of distractions, a storm of thoughts, notifications buzzing, emails piling up, deadlines looming, conversations replaying in your head. Are you in control of this battlefield? Or are you just another reactive soldier, constantly being pulled in different directions, unable to focus, unable to think clearly? Here's the truth. Your ability to focus determines your ability to win. And just like a warrior must train his swordsmanship, you must train your mind. This is where focused attention meditation comes in. It's not just about sitting still and closing your eyes. It's about sharpening your mind to laser-like precision. It's about reclaiming your focus in a world designed to steal it. Because in today's age of distraction, the ability to focus is a superpower. The science of focus, how meditation reshapes your brain. You wouldn't expect to build muscle without lifting weights. So why do so many people expect their minds to be sharp when they never train their focus? Neuroscience has proven that focused attention meditation physically rewires your brain. A study by Dr. Sarah Lazar at Harvard University found that people who practiced focused meditation for just 8 weeks had increased gray matter density in areas associated with focus, memory, and emotional regulation. Another study by Dr. Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin found that long-term meditation reduces activity in the amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for stress and overreaction. What does this mean for you? Sharper focus, better memory, stronger emotional control, less stress, more clarity. Athletes, CEOs, and world-class performers know this. That's why they meditate, not to escape life, but to dominate it. The flow state, how masters tap into limitless focus. Ever watched a musician so lost in their music that they seem to become one with their instrument? Or a basketball player who enters the zone, sinking shot after shot without even thinking? This is the flow state, a heightened level of focus where everything else fades away. And focused attention meditation is the key to unlocking it. In his book Flow, psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi explains that when we are fully immersed in an activity, our brain shifts into a mode where time slows down, distractions disappear, and we perform at our absolute best. Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, meditated every morning before stepping onto the court. He didn't do it to relax, he did it to train his focus like a muscle. Steve Jobs, the visionary behind Apple, practiced Zen meditation to develop his ability to focus intensely on one thing at a time, leading to the creation of revolutionary products. Greatness is not about talent alone. It's about the ability to lock in and focus when it matters most. The Mind Gym, how to train your focus like a warrior. You wouldn't expect to run a marathon without training. So why do you expect your mind to focus for hours when you don't train it daily? Here's how you can start building unshakable focus today. Step 1. Choose your anchor. Your mind needs something to focus on, a breath, a candle flame, a mantra, or even a simple word. This is your mental anchor, keeping you from drifting into distractions. Step 2. The art of returning. Your mind will wander. That's not failure, it's part of the training. Every time your attention drifts, gently bring it back to your anchor. This is the equivalent of lifting weights. Every time you return to focus, you're building mental strength. Step 3. Start small, build big. Begin with just 5 minutes a day. Gradually extend the time as your ability to focus strengthens. Over time, your concentration will grow as naturally as a muscle does when trained. The modern-day samurai, a story of focus and mastery. In feudal Japan, the legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi was undefeated in battle. He didn't win because he was the strongest. He won because he was the most focused. Musashi trained his mind relentlessly. He could sense an enemy's movement before they even struck. He wrote in his book, The Book of Five Rings, "You must train your mind as you train your sword. Without focus, your blade is useless." Today, we face different battles. Not with swords, but with distractions, stress, and overwhelming mental noise. But the principle remains the same. Without focus, you will lose. With focus, you will master anything. What if you could focus with the intensity of a samurai? What if you could train your mind to cut through distractions like a blade? You can. And focused attention meditation is how you begin. Breaking free from the chains of distraction. The modern world is designed to break your focus. Social media, emails, ads, notifications, all fighting for your attention. Every time you let yourself be distracted, you weaken your ability to focus. But every time you practice focused attention meditation, you take back control. No more scrolling mindlessly. No more jumping from task to task without finishing anything. No more feeling overwhelmed by 1,000 thoughts at once. Instead, you become the master of your mind. Unshaken, laser-focused, unstoppable. Your next step, the challenge. Now it's time to take action. Here's your 7-day focused attention challenge. White heavy checkmark day 1 to 2. Meditate for 5 minutes, focusing on your breath. White heavy checkmark day 3 to 4. Increase to 7 minutes. If your mind wanders, return to focus. White heavy checkmark day 5 to 6. Try using a candle flame or a mantra as your focal point. White heavy checkmark day 7. Reflect on how your focus has improved. Then keep going. This isn't just about meditation. It's about reclaiming your ability to concentrate in everything you do. Because in a world where everyone is distracted, the one who can focus wins. So, the question is, are you ready to train your mind like a warrior? Can you sit still? Can you face yourself? In a world that glorifies busyness, stillness has become a lost art. Society tells us that movement equals progress, that productivity is the key to success, that we must always be doing something, scrolling, planning, achieving, worrying. But what if the real power lies not in movement, but in stillness? Can you sit in silence, completely alone with your thoughts? For many, the idea is terrifying, because when you sit still, you face yourself. Zazen, the seated meditation practice of Zen Buddhism, is not just about relaxation, it's about awakening. It's about sitting with the chaos inside you and learning not to react. It's about finding clarity not by escaping the storm, but by becoming the calm within it. Zazen is not easy, but it is necessary. The samurai's choice, heaven or hell. A legendary samurai once approached a Zen master, seeking wisdom. "What is the difference between heaven and hell?" he asked. The master looked at him and scoffed. You are an ignorant fool, unworthy of wisdom." The samurai's face twisted in rage. His hand reached for his sword, ready to strike. The master, still calm, said, "That is hell." The samurai froze. In that moment, he understood. His anger, his reaction, his inability to control his emotions. That was his hell. He lowered his sword. He bowed deeply. "And that," the master said, "is heaven." This story is not just about a samurai. It's about you. Every day you face the same choice, react mindlessly or respond with wisdom. Live in mental chaos or cultivate inner peace. Be controlled by your thoughts or master them. Zazen teaches you how to choose heaven. Why stillness is the hardest, but most powerful discipline. Anyone can run away from their problems. Anyone can distract themselves with social media, work, entertainment. But how many people can sit in silence and face their own mind? Not many, because silence reveals the truth. When you sit still, you begin to notice how restless your mind is, how easily you get irritated, how emotions rise and fall like waves. Most people don't want to face this, but if you don't face your mind, you will never master it. Zazen is the training ground. It's where you learn. Heavy check mark to observe your thoughts without getting lost in them. Heavy check mark to let emotions pass without acting on them. Heavy check mark to cultivate clarity in the midst of chaos. It's not about escaping the world. It's about becoming unshakable within it. The science of Zazen, rewiring your brain for resilience. Neuroscience has proven what Zen monks have known for centuries. Stillness changes your brain. Dr. Judson Brewer, a neuroscientist and mindfulness researcher, found that meditation reduces activity in the default mode network, DMN, the part of your brain responsible for overthinking, worrying, and self-judgment. Other studies show that regular meditation strengthens the prefrontal cortex, enhancing focus and decision-making, lowers activity in the amygdala, reducing stress and emotional reactivity, increases gray matter density, improving memory and learning. In simple terms, Zazen rewires your brain for mental resilience. The more you sit in stillness, the less your mind controls you. You become the master, not the servant of your thoughts. The art of detachment, observing without reacting. Zazen teaches a profound skill, detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means freedom. Imagine your mind as a river. Thoughts and emotions are like leaves floating on the water. Most people jump in, they grab onto a thought, obsess over it, let it drag them downstream. Zazen teaches you to sit on the riverbank and watch. You see the thoughts, you acknowledge them, but you don't get carried away. And here's the magic. When you stop fighting your thoughts, they lose their power over you. Anxiety comes, but you don't let it consume you. Anger rises, but you don't act on it impulsively. Stress appears, but you remain centered. This is true freedom, not being free from thoughts, but being free within them. The Stoic warriors of stillness, Marcus Aurelius and the power of Zazen. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoic philosophers, practiced a form of Zazen without even knowing it. Every morning, he would sit in silence and write in his journal, observing his own mind. He knew that his greatest battle was not with enemies, but within himself. His famous words echo the wisdom of Zen. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Zazen is this realization in action. It's the practice of taking control, not of the world, but of your own mind. How to practice Zazen. The Warrior's Guide to Mental Mastery. You don't need a temple or a monk's robe. You need discipline. You need commitment. Here's how to start. 1. Find your seat. Sit on a cushion, chair, or the floor. Keep your spine straight but relaxed. Hands in your lap, palms facing up, thumb tips lightly touching. 2. Eyes open, soft focus. Unlike other meditations, Zazen is practiced with eyes slightly open. Gaze at a spot 3 feet ahead of you without focusing too hard. 3. Breathe naturally. Don't force your breath. Let it rise and fall on its own. Simply observe it. For observe, don't engage. Thoughts will come. Don't chase them. Don't fight them. Just watch. 5. Start with 10 minutes daily. At first, it will feel impossible. Your mind will resist. It will want to move, to react, to do something. That's the point. That's the training. Every minute you sit, you are strengthening your mind like a warrior sharpens his blade. The path to mental freedom begins with one still moment. The world is noisy, chaotic. Everyone is chasing, reacting, overthinking. But you are training yourself to be different. To be still when others are restless. To be calm when others are overwhelmed. To be clear when others are lost in confusion. Zazen is not just meditation. It is warrior training for the mind. And the question is, will you sit? Will you train? Will you master your own mind? The illusion of permanence. What are you holding on to? Everything you know, everything you love, everything you fear is temporary. This is not just a Buddhist teaching. This is a universal truth. Look around you. The people in your life, the successes you've achieved, even the challenges that feel never-ending. None of them will last forever. Yet we cling. We hold on as if we can stop the inevitable. We resist change, fearing the unknown. We chase permanence in a world that is constantly shifting beneath our feet. But what if I told you that freedom lies in embracing impermanence instead of fighting it? What if I told you that by accepting the fleeting nature of life, you could experience true peace? Because the moment you stop holding on, you let go of suffering. The story of the woman who couldn't let go. A grieving woman once approached a Buddhist monk, her heart heavy with the loss of her father. "How do I stop this pain?" she asked. The monk, without a word, handed her a cup of tea. "Hold this tightly," he instructed. She obeyed. Minutes passed. The cup grew heavier. Her fingers began to ache. "Does it hurt?" the monk finally asked. "Yes." "Then let go." She released the cup. Instantly, the pain vanished. "Your grief is like this cup," the monk said. "Holding on causes suffering. Acceptance brings peace." This is not just a story about grief. It is a story about everything we refuse to release. Our past mistakes, failed relationships, disappointments, expectations, and even our own identities. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean we stop caring. It means we stop clinging to what no longer serves us. Why do we fear change? The psychology of attachment. Psychologists call it status quo bias, the tendency to resist change, even when it could improve our lives. Dr. Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize-winning psychologist, explains this through loss aversion. We fear losing what we have more than we desire something better. We stay in toxic relationships because we fear loneliness. We hold on to old identities because we fear the unknown. We resist change in our careers because we fear failure. But what if the real loss is in holding on? What if by refusing to let go, we are preventing ourselves from evolving? Buddhism teaches that everything is in a constant state of flux. This is called Anicca or impermanence. The more we accept this truth, the less we suffer. The samurai and the unavoidable flow of time. In feudal Japan, there was a great samurai who sought wisdom from a Zen master. "Master," he said, "how can I find peace?" The master simply responded, "Everything you love will one day be gone. Everything you hate will one day be gone. Everything you fear will one day be gone." The samurai, struck by the words, stood silent, because he realized nothing in this life is truly ours. We do not own our successes. We do not own our failures. We do not even own our bodies. Everything passes. The question is, will you suffer because of it, or will you embrace the flow of life? Impermanence in the modern world. How clinging creates suffering. You don't need to be a samurai or a monk to see how clinging causes pain. Just look at modern life. Heavy checkmark relationships, people suffer because they hold on to partners who have already emotionally left. Heavy checkmark careers, employees stay in jobs they hate because they fear change. Heavy checkmark self-identity, people resist personal growth because they are attached to an old version of themselves. But those who embrace impermanence? Heavy checkmark, they love deeply but accept that love will evolve. Heavy checkmark, they pursue new opportunities without fearing the unknown. Heavy checkmark, they grow continuously, shedding old versions of themselves without regret. The most successful and fulfilled people are not those who resist change, but those who flow with it. The science of letting go, how your brain can adapt. The human brain is wired to adapt. This is called neuroplasticity, our ability to rewire thought patterns based on experiences. Dr. Carol Dweck, a Stanford psychologist, calls this the growth mindset, the ability to see challenges, failures, and changes as opportunities rather than losses. When you let go of fear, your brain finds new paths. When you let go of control, your mind opens to possibilities. When you let go of attachment, you make room for freedom. Science has proven what Buddhism has taught for centuries. The more we cling, the more we suffer. The more we let go, the freer we become. Practical application. How to practice letting go. So how do we apply this? How do we embrace impermanence in a way that actually transforms our lives? 1. Daily reflection on change. Every night, take 2 minutes to reflect. Heavy check mark, what changed today? Heavy check mark, what am I holding onto that no longer serves me? Heavy check mark, what can I release to create more peace in my life? 2. Practice non-attachment. Notice your thoughts. Are you obsessing over something? Instead of clinging, observe and let it pass. Like clouds in the sky. When something doesn't go your way, ask, is this worth my suffering? 3. The 5-minute letting go ritual. Write down something you are struggling to release. A past mistake, a toxic thought, a fear. Read it. Acknowledge it. Burn or discard the paper as a symbolic act of letting go. 4. Shift your language. Instead of saying, crossmark, I lost my job, say, white heavy check mark, I am making space for a better opportunity. Instead of, crossmark, I failed, say, white heavy check mark, I learned. Language shapes reality. Change your words, change your mindset. Impermanence is not loss, it is liberation. Most people fear impermanence because they think it means losing something. But in reality, impermanence is what allows growth, transformation, and new beginnings. A seed must break for a tree to grow. A sunset must end for a sunrise to begin. A past version of you must die for the new you to emerge. Nothing is permanent. Not pain, not joy, not failure, not success. And that is a beautiful thing. So the next time you find yourself clinging, ask yourself, is this worth my suffering? Or is it time to let go? We've walked through ancient wisdom, explored modern applications, and uncovered real-life stories that remind us. We are not prisoners of our own minds. Yes, your thoughts will come and go. Yes, emotions will rise and fall. Yes, challenges will continue to appear. But here's the difference. Now you know that you have a choice. You can choose to observe your thoughts instead of drowning in them. You can choose to be present rather than lost in the past or future. You can choose to detach from negativity and embrace peace. And perhaps most importantly, you can choose to be kind to yourself, because this is not about being perfect, it's about being present. Now, I leave you with one final question. What is one thought you are ready to release today? Take a moment, reflect, and if you feel called to share, drop it in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to white heavy check mark like this video if you want to see more content like this. White heavy check mark, comment your biggest takeaway. I'd love to hear your insights. White heavy check mark, share this with someone who might need a little peace today. Your support helps us grow Lotus Light Teachings, and together, we can create a world with more clarity, compassion, and mindfulness. Thank you for being here. Until next time, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, and may you be free.